on page Lamed Bet. Right. The Pirush had said for the Zohar Chai. Let's read from Lamed Aleph. And Lamed Aleph says, "Lekach Yisod the Nukva Nikra Bo Ben Ish Chai." So he went through the Pop's different name. This word Chai. Hare Chai Chai. There's two Chais there. He says, "Hu Yodecho." So he quotes his pasuk. Chai b'tzadik. That's the Yisod of the Dechura. V'chai b'Yisod the Nukva. So he says be'or choser, with a light that's going backwards. So let's see how this looks. It says Shorish Inyan Zeh Rebbe Shar Mamari Rashbi. Look over there. He said B'toch Devar. He says Yisod Yesh Lo Shtei Bechinos. The Yisod has two different aspects. Shtei Bechinos Elo B'sod Yosef HaTzadik U'Binyahu HaTzadik U'Benyamin rather. HaTzadik. So this is called Mayim Dechurim. So one is different kinds of motions. One is Yosef is a motion downwards, and he's saying that the Benyamin is a motion upwards. So then we see that Yisod actually has these two parts, which is Yosef and Benyamin. Which is inside of the Nekeva Elyona, on the Nekeva Elyona, Kamed Da'at Omer, like you say like this, Ketseis Nafsha Ki Mesa. So it says that her Nafsha in the leaving is, okay, what's this phrase? Ketseis Nafsha Ki Mesa. So I was a little thrown there by one of the phrases. When he says Binyamin Lamata Matocha Nekeva, no problem there, but he says Nekeva Elyona. So that's thrown me a little bit, because I was in the Nekeva Elyona is Bina. Kamadat Omer, I would think that would be what it is. Kamadat Omer, so you say a little bit, says Nafsha Ki Mesa, so that she died, and because, but it says her soul went out and she died. Od yesh b'yisod atzbach l'malach shtecha b'chinas elo. So you have these same two concepts again. He said v'lefichach nikra chai olamim. So therefore it's called the light or the life force of the universes. So teishes spheres melamata lamala, and this is the concept like this, going downwards. He says the 10 spheres from that. What should I say? He says besod Tesha spheres melamata lamala, going upwards. So you have 9 spheros that are going up. So or choser halon. So later on we're going to see this concept of or choser. The Tesha melamala lamata, but then there's another 9 that comes from the top to the bottom. Ha'olim chai. So now you have 9 going from the bottom to the top and 9 going from the top to the bottom. He wants to say that this is the concept of chai. Now that may be it's like coming from left field, but that's where he says you have chai. You have these two lights going together. So he said of a chai who abitrin alman really refers to 2 different universes. Kigam ku chai ba'odam on the Nekeva, because it's that you have in the Nekeva as well. Besod Benyamin the Tzaddik. So you have a chai in Yosef, you have a chai in Benyamin. B'zecha b'masha amacha kosev chai chai. Who yoducha. He says, what is this trying to say? I'm having a little trouble with my glasses, so maybe I need new glasses. Trying to see this smaller print. Chai chai hu yoducha gedeksivna v'shorish hadavar. So the root of this idea is this. Ki b'yisod nift let me see, this word is nistayim hazachar ha'elyon. Because in the place of the yisod, so he said the zachar elyon. Who is that? That's their anpin. So the Zer Anpin stops at his Yisod. Who Harikiya, this is the concept of this Rikiya. In other words, the Yisod has an end to it. So he says that end, he says the Rikiya, Hamav the Bein Mayim the Mayim, which divides between one set of waters and another. Which I think he's talking here about the flows. When he says about water, he's talking about the flows. The water would be coming from the Yisod of Zer Anpin, and then coming up from the Yisod of the Nukva. V'ha'or ha'elyon ha'machaya es ha'sviros, so that upper light, which is really coming through the spheros and brings them light to all of them, Yored ad Sham, that's where it goes to. So it goes to the tip of the Yisod, let's say, so to speak. And it strikes, there's a striking there. Besod batish beg. So that we have a phrase here that strikes it. Now, let me just look at this one more time. So he says it brings life into the spheros. We understand like the body, let's say of Zeranpin is like a flowing tree, and everything's going down to its bottom, which is the Yisod. There he says the makabo besod batash be, and it strikes. I'm not sure makas bo on it. So this is male, so it must be referring to that Yisod. Kedemus hamara avolotashis. It's like I guess a shining a mirror. Hamapsekis. Yeah, that's hamapsekis. Shelo ya'aver or hashemesh b'mana lamata. So in other words, it's like a block. So it keeps the light from coming through. Ki omeda keneged or hashemesh, because it's standing opposite the light of the shemesh. I guess it gets getting reflected onto it. Kach came Rakia Zeh, so the same idea, I'm not sure I got that right, but he says, came at Rakia Zeh, Navda ben Amal the Dechura the Amal the Nukva. He's saying, this Rakia, what's the Rakia? The Rakia is, I guess, the end of the Yisod. This is a place that really divides between the Alma the Dechura, Alma the Nukva, and the Alma the Nukva. They're divided there. And he doesn't allow the light to go any further down. So therefore there's a striking there. This secret of this light of Elyon, Bipinimiyusa in the inside. And what happens then? So he's saying really like this tremendous energy is coming there. And it gets blocked. He said that's the concept here. He says gets blocked at the Yisod. It can't keep flowing. But instead, what comes out, the Yotzim and the Tzutzos, then you get these sparks coming out from this place. And then Tzutzos, Kaminyan Ha'oras Hamakim Bo Teisha Melamala Lamata. So then it strikes it as if you're getting struck by the flow through the 9 spheres up above it that are going from the top to the bottom. And then it's also the striking that at the same time comes the other direction, V'teim Melamata Lamala. All of that is happening at this one place, which is called Yisod. Okay, so there's another picture there of what's playing in that ballpark. Let's see, that was number Lamed Bet, and so that must be that we're up at the top of the page on number Ches. So he says, Rei La'el, look up above, he says, Shehu v'Rav kan b'bir kol klalos inyan v'chachayus ratza v'shuv be'ez zivug. So here one want to see what the Gra had said about that. It says ratzu, right? What's that mean? Because Yisod Ayel b'Nukva is the entrance of the Yisod into the Nukva. V'shuv kachashu Yisod chozer la'achrov, and then you see that it comes back out because this is going backwards. It starts going backwards. Ein Sham. Now this also could be Mayin Dochri, Mayin Nokri, and other different kinds of metaphors there. Ulon Rei b'birach b'shula b'birach gra, he says in his bayar hadava the inyanenu v'shor she'elyon the zivug abba v'ima, that really is talking here. Let's see how we understand it. The yichud that takes place between abba v'ima, b'yichud b'cheich v'garim. Now let's see, what is this? The yichud between Abba ve'ima takes place in the throat and in the palate. He said, "V'goren shall pad the Eric Anpin." Now, we just switched over here. So let's start. The thing is, what is it talking about? It's called that yichud, the yichud that takes place over there. Chech shorish Abba, v'goren shorish ima. So this is what really produces them. So he says, and what actually causes them to make this yichud? Which is the sod of das. So what do we have here? We have the yichud of the chech and the goren, which represents a yichud between Abba ve'ima. Now he's saying this is taking place in Erik Anpin, And I'm thinking that he means to say that yichud produces the oros. I'm thinking it was just the oros that make Abba ve'ima. And he says, so he says, and they come and they make a yichud. But this is interesting because I think he talks about this somewhere else. He says, that the ruach here, ruach represents a vav. He says it someplace else. That ruach shuhu sod das, which is the seed, the sod of das, which means to say that this is the balancer between the two. So this is the meaning of that. Because the ruach, which is really the life of a person, you stop breathing, you're dead. Ratz of Veshuva comes out, it comes in. This is also true about breathing. So Haniknas V'yotze comes in, it comes out, but B'pam Ale Ein Sham. So all of that, there's probably a lot more about that somewhere else. But I see that by going forward, that, like say, for example, the Ris Ruk, when we first heard the first parts of Ris Ruk, very difficult to understand what he's saying. But now he's filling it in the blanks a little bit better. Let's do a little bit more. So now they want the basic beginning here. Is Sifra that's new to Sham. So the next phrase is that. So what we said over there, he says, Shuhu sod his kalos base bechinas or. This is the concept of bringing two different concepts of lights together. Dahainu yehi or mitzad chesed, vayehi or mitzad gevur. That's what we learned way back. The Commission is called them yachad bekavim soy, that they get joined together in the middle line. Oznik kroim tov. That's when they're called tov. In other words, the yichud between them using the middle line. The middle line brings that about. Here's the first one. He said, "Rei bar Yakar Sham beferish Rishon Shabir the fi darko now." The idol besod kashach teferes im bina. So this is the secret of the tying of teferes and bina with bina. So this, in other words, the vav in between the two hays. And here we're talking about the yichud, or he says he was as a bekasher of the teferes, that is with the vav in the upper hay lamala. Malchus lamata, but at the same time the vav also connects the malchus and the mata. So the Elokim is lashon bina. As or teferes, which is the light, he says light goes with teferes. Teferes is the sun. He called his pashtos the yisod because it's good. The pashtos of the yisod. Kadei he kosher but teferes. And what is his concept is? What does the yisod do for you? Kitov. That's the kitov. Is that the Yesod makes it possible to try the Teferes of Babina. It makes that possible. Wait a minute. He said, Ki tov his pashtus Yesod kadei the kasher Teferes Babina uva malchut kedefrishna, and that's what the Yesod allows that to happen. I'm not sure what he means the Yesod in regards to Ima, but assuming that Ima actually it penetrates Zeranpin, is inside of Zeranpin with her Yesod. So I guess, that Yesod of Bina is now attached to Zeranpin on the top, and then his Yesod is attached to the Nukva on the bottom, Adkan. Ray, call, Inin, Bo'orach Le'el, so you'll see all of this later on up above. He says, Ein Sham, so look at it over there. Let's see what the time is. So let's do like one more, let's see. And he said, B'bir Yaakov Sham, and the Bir Yaakov, it says over there. He says, Beperish Shani, now we're going to the second explanation. Beer, the Fidarko, the Eirach episode, Yichud, the Ferris and Malchus, of what it's talking about, this Kitov, is that Yichud. Zel Lashono. Yichudim Eno Elo, Ayedech Emsoi Benehem, so the possibility of them making a Yichud only refers to the concept of the middle line, which is the concept of balance. So he said again, so there has to be a balancing idea in the middle. Behind the Yesod, that what is that? I guess he says that's the Yesod. Vayara Elokim as or Kitov. So he says this Elokim, he says he saw the light, that it was good. But Yisod Ba'atfa Nikra Tov, so it's the Yisod that's good. So Elokim, I guess, I'm not sure exactly how this goes, so let's go. So, translate V'yara Elokim es Or Kitov, the Elokim, which he said previously is Bina. So let's suppose that so he said Elokim is Or Kitov, he saw the light which the air is Anpin, is good. But Yisod Ba'atfa Nikra Tov, the Yisod itself is called Tov. So how's this go? V'lekach ne'ember omro tzadik kitov. That is talking about the Yisod. Mamish hu nikra kitov. So once they say Yisod, it's really a big deal because that's where the goodness of this concept that is good. I'd got. B'rei ma shabir od b'zecha or yakar l'halon. We'll see more about that later on. So I guess this is the place to stop here. And this today is what again is 24 Adar. 83. Okay, trying to keep track here, keep up. And, okay, we'll go to the next year.